Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today. I am in Corona Del Mar, California, and I'm on a street called Goldenrod, which may not be a big deal to you. It's got some significance for me. It's kind of funny. I'll tell you a great story at the end of the video. But to give you an idea where it's at, it's Goldenrod and First Street. And this is the street with the bridge that overlooks Bayside. And you can walk down this street to go to Bayside. And it's got a really cool bridge that goes over Bayside. And you can see how this goes over the street. But anyways, we're out of money as a country. No money. And it's over. Again, we're out of money. So much to cover in this. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. But let's get right into it. And our lovely Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, she wrote a letter to our new Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. And this is sick. This is just disgusting. And I don't care what side you guys are on. I don't care righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, whatever, you know. I don't care if you're part of the chimpanzee party. I don't care, okay? But here's the thing. There was a spending package that was voted on before the last Congress left office. And this spending package was going to fix everything. And it didn't. It was an absolute scam. And all it was designed to give themselves a spending spree on both sides. And I don't care who you voted for. Senators that were leaving office that didn't care that your children's children were going to pay for this. And this is the sick part about this, is that Janet Yellen wrote Kevin McCarthy this letter on Friday, and I'm going to leave it up here for you guys, and wrote a letter talking about how, hey, listen, based on public law 117-73, we need to discuss our $31 trillion budget that we have, and that we need more money to borrow. So the debt ceiling, okay? That's what this is, guys. They just passed a law and didn't deal with this. Now, all of us thought, well, wait, didn't they fix the government? Isn't that what they voted for, to keep things going? No, guys. So what they're going to do is they're going to shut the government down. They're going to stop paying things so that they can borrow more money. And I want you to think about this. We have all had friends. In fact, I was just talking to somebody about finances the other day. See, isn't this cool? Look at this. You got this nice bridge that leads to the other side of Goldenrod. And down there on the other side of this that's Bayside. So this is going to the ocean right there in Corona Del Mar. So remember this street, guys, because there's significance to this. And I'll tell you a story at the end of the video. It's awesome. So anyways, the debt ceiling is about to be hit again. And good old Janet Yellen, you know, is talking about two extraordinary measures that the Treasury anticipates implementing this month, is redeeming existing, suspending new investments in civil service retirement and the disability fund and the postal service retiree fund. They're not contributing to these people's retirement funds right now, and they're cutting that off. So here's the thing. Pensions have been hit really hard lately, and people that have been working 30, 40 years to go get their pensions are about to experience that. They're going to have a haircut, 10%, 20%, sometimes 50, 60%. Look at GM. Look what happened when GM went bankrupt last time, and how these people lost, you know, so much. Certain smaller companies that were dealing in parts of GM got wiped out during that time. But you know, gosh, the federal employees, their retirement plans, securities used for these measures, which will reduce the amount of outstanding debt. Oh my God, this is just terrible. Presidents and Treasury secretaries of both parties have made it clear that the government must not be shut down. They must not default in their obligations, Mr. McCarthy. And please understand, yet the administration over recent decades have used these extraordinary measures to, when necessary, it is therefore critical that the Congress act in a timely manner to increase or suspend the debt limit. Think about this. Increase or suspend. I want you to think about this. I have friends, you've had friends, You've got brother-in-laws. I have a friend that was telling me about his sister-in-law who's a spendthrift, who I'm telling you that if you gave her $30, she would spend 50. Okay, is how my friend described this. I won't use his first name because his other relatives would watch this and know exactly who that is. But, you know, this is pathetic, guys. We voted these people and they don't care about us anymore. Now, you can sit there and say, oh, they never cared about us. This is absolutely, utterly disgusting. And there is no accountability anymore. There's not on either side. And it's just really, really wrong on in such a grand, I've become my grandparents at this point. Indeed, in the past, even threats to the United States government might fail its obligation have caused real harms, including the credit rating getting downgraded in 2011. Who was in office in 2011, guys? La, 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 la. Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyways, increasing or suspending the debt limit does not authorize new spending commitments or cost taxpayers money. Again, guys, because you're printing money out of thin air. You're making something that is basically from nothing. You're creating money. But we've got checks in the checkbook. Let us write those checks. These guys just voted on the most outrageous spending bill ever, 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 ever. All these deals for themselves, all this crazy stuff, you know, just insanity, okay? But they didn't fix this. They didn't fix the debt limit. And you guys, I know I'm going to get people, you just don't understand how the government works. And no. How about accountability? How about if you ran a business like the United States government runs itself, you would be out of business. But if you had the ability to print money out of thin air, boom, magic trick. Ready? Here we go. You would still be in business. Okay? That's what's happening here. So read this. It will be below. But this should sicken you. Okay? Absolutely sicken you. I'm on the corner of Goldenrod and Bayview. And one of my favorite houses ever that I always thought if I could make a ton of dough, I would buy this house at 211. Just because it's small, but literally it's 1 block away from the ocean. And it's right next door to a house that was $36 million. So we thought it was nice. Let's see where we're at here. Just a beautiful neighborhood, okay? But you get some mook walking through it with a camera. So there's that. Share your thoughts on this stuff. What do you guys think about it? Think we're going to have any government accountability anytime soon? What do you think? I don't think so. I think that it's just bad, guys. It's just an absolute joke, and nothing is real. Nobody cares about us. Nobody cares about anything. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. Now, guys, here's something that is really, really sad, and that is Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis Presley's only child, died last Thursday. And absolutely shocking, you know, 54 years old. And her last public appearance was at the Golden Globe Awards, and Austin Butler, who played Elvis in the Elvis movie, the Laz Berman movie, won the Golden Globe for Best Actor in Musical. And, you know, I've had people, I had dinner with somebody last night that told me she hated the movie. So, but I thought it was great. I thought his performance was absolutely amazing. But here's the thing that's outrageous, is that, think about this. She inherited $100 million from Elvis when he died. She was arguably the most famous child, one of the most famous children in history when you think about this. And what is absolutely tragic about this was that when Elvis died, the Colonel, if you saw it in the movie, I mean, just fleeced Elvis. It really took advantage of him. And the family had to sue the estate to get the rights back to this. Now, I'm paraphrasing a lot of this stuff, guys, but think about this. When you make music, when you make art, when you make movies, when you act, when you perform, you have the potential sometimes to have royalties and residual payments and things like that. And that's what was happening with Elvis, because arguably he was one of the most popular figures ever. I mean, his image is just out there, and you guys know the hair and everything else. But one thing that was fascinating with my girlfriend that just passed away is that she taught lawyers to pass the bar exam. And the one thing I was always asked people is, What are you going to do? Who you been working for? What's your intention? What you get when you get licensed to become a lawyer? And the two most fascinating people were people that dealt with dead celebrities, okay? Because the rights and the image of people like James Dean and the people like Elvis Presley that live on, it's amazing. And the money that comes from that is ungodly. It's just absolutely unbelievable. But originally, when Elvis died, the family with Graceland sold certain rights to the estate. And at the time, it seemed like a lot of money. It was 55 million bucks. And they got an advance on everything. But it really, when you add it all up, it really wasn't that much money. But where the money was at was the lifetime rights and the images. And just think, they had to pay the family. Priscilla owns rights still to Elvis on certain things. And when they made the Elvis movie, the family's got to get paid. And the rumor was that the movie was based more from her perspective than other people's perspective, which was fascinating. Okay? So that being said, when you look at stuff like this, and you look at this woman who died 54 years old, and she died, what they say, at least $3 million in debt. She had basically about 100 grand in cash. She owed people all over the place. Her rent was $23,000 a month. Her expenses every month were $92,000 a month to live. And again, you know, I don't begrudge anybody, and I have a term that I say, I don't look in other people's pockets because I don't know what you're doing. But, you know, her Maserati payment was $1,100, you know, a month. And her ex-husband, Lockwood, I forgot that jackoff's first name, but that guy was suing her for alimony and child support for 40 grand a month when she passed. So she inherited $100 million, was upside down. She owed the IRS $1 million right now. So it's just sad. But when you see the pictures of her that night of the event, she looks horrible. I mean, I'm not even going to show one of them because I don't want to get copyright claimed or anything, but just absolutely tragic. But here's the thing that's fascinating. When you have celebrities that make music or anything like that, there's the potential to get advances against those royalties. And David Bowie was one of the first people to do this. He got $55 million for his music catalog years ago. And basically you had other people that went out and did that. And the music rights, you have publishing rights, you have the rights for the airplay on radio, record sales, CD sales, music streaming, all that stuff. There's perpetual rights to that. But Elvis family and Lisa Marie Presley and Priscilla sold the rights basically overall to, you know, it's not like she would get rights forever. They kind of sold it off, which was stupid. Now, through the years, you've heard about troubled people. Charlie Sheen, for example. That guy was making over $1 million a week with 2.5 Men. And think about this. Okay, you saw just the meltdown. Okay, craziness, the debauchery, the women, everything. Okay, that guy had 2.5 Men residuals. Have you noticed you see 2.5 Men everywhere now? Okay, because he sold his rights to it and he got paid. The rumor was $25 million outright, and that's it. And think about that. That was basically one season of work. Now, the beauty of TV and the beauty of residuals for people like that, like Friends, is that basically when you go to the Writers Guild and you go to certain things, it basically takes down a percentage each episode, each time it's played. And I knew actors and I worked for an actor, and this guy would tell me it's the greatest thing ever because I would do a performance and they'd pay me $6,000 and then it would run and I didn't even know it ran, and they paid me another $3 grand and I'd get it in the mail. Unbelievable. But when you think about something like Friends, that these guys made $1 million an episode also, and I think it's 1/17 is what I've heard is what the residuals are. You guys can correct me, that get paid for writers and things like that, but it's crazy on what they get paid. But the Elvis story and the Lisa Marie story is absolutely tragic, because the lesson with this is there's never going to be another king, clearly. But when you have this opportunity, and I think the goal in life, people that I've talked to that are really rich, and you know, a guy that I really respect a lot, and I want him to come on and do an interview with me, you know, everything he does is to get residuals and to get dividends and to get ACH payments from things in his life so that he doesn't have to work, and he has to month after month get these payments. Well, you know, I know somebody that was just telling me a story about how she had basically a residual payment for a set period of time, and it's going to end, and somebody said, hey, we're going to pay in advance to get rid of this. And that's a her decision, where it's like, what's it worth to get rid of that over the continual basis of getting a check every month? And the Lisa Marie Presley, that's insane, because the king is worth more dead than he ever was alive, which is sad. But then you look at the king of pop, Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson just pissed his money away. I mean, you've all seen the videos of that guy going out and shopping and doing the crazy stuff that Michael Jackson did. But when Michael Jackson died, and Michael Jackson's mother turned it over to that law firm, I can't think of, a very famous lawyer, OJ's first lawyer. God, it's not Shapiro, it's the other guy. I can't think of his name. I'll think of it. But that guy took over the estate of Michael Jackson, and they did things where they sold music rights and different commercials and things like that, because Michael Jackson would never have done that, but they made, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars by doing this and having this. Isn't that cool? This is from the city to the water. But it was so, you know, there's so much money to be made from these dead celebrities. It's just crazy. But this woman is dead at 54. It's nothing. She's younger than I was. And, you know, I always tell people, if you've got addiction, if you've got substance abuse problems, clear your life up, guys, because I'm telling you, you're destroying the people around you. I've had people close to me that have done stupid things like that, and it just destroys everybody else. And these people do it over and over and over again. But her money, $100 million, was not enough money, guys. That's sad. It's just tragic. Now you can sit there and, you know, she was such troubled because of the king. Yeah, you can only imagine if your parents, you know, who else was more famous than that? So, absolutely shocking. But, you know, this is the lesson learned. Our government can't keep the money in check. And I think people actually think that are this wealthy, like Lisa Marie, I think that they think they're going to fix it and it's going to come back. And she tried a music career. She had a really tragic life with her kids and with certain parts of it. And she was very, very sad with divorce and things like that. But man, oh man, it's like nothing is important, guys. Okay? She's dead now, you know? So share your thoughts on this stuff. If you are a working actor, if you are a writer, if you get the residual checks, there's a few guys on TikTok that do, hey, it's quarterly residual time, and they will open up the residual checks for episodes that they wrote for comedies and things like that, and they'll have, hey, $28 here, ooh, $280, $600 here, and all these different fees and stuff based on the percentage of what the guy wrote and all that stuff for the episode and how many times it had played. All that stuff is fascinating. If you want to share anything like that, share it, okay? So, isn't this nice? This area right here, this cove right here, this is supposed to be a private beach, but can't make it a private beach in California. That is Newport, the entrance to Newport Bay. That is the wedge right there. Right across from there, where the sun is setting, right there is the wedge, where the waves have been huge, but there's just no waves these last couple of days. It's been really odd. So share your thoughts on all this stuff. You know, God bless her kids, God bless her family, but man, oh man, oh man, I'm just, work on your peace of mind, guys. Work on making your life, cleaning up your life, get rid of the idiots in your life, get rid of the drags in your life. If you are miserable with your job, work on getting a new job. Have your new job be getting a new job. Do it at night, do it on the weekends. If you want a side hustle, go do it. If you want to make more money, the world is yours. You can do absolutely anything in this world and do that. But God, man, I'm telling you, I meet a lot of miserable people that have a lot of money. And I've told this story a bunch of times where one of my last medical conferences, I hired my son as the photographer, which was a waste of money because he just ate food and ran around the event and barely took pictures. And my daughter was editing before she had her YouTube stuff and filming. And I had this guy that was worth hundreds of millions of dollars ask me, how do you keep your kids in your life like this? This is crazy. I can't, my kids don't even speak to me. What a miserable life. And that guy has money that if we added up everybody on this channel probably wouldn't equal this guy. And think about that. Doesn't have a relationship. What's that worth? Okay. Spoke to my daughter 6 times today. So anyways, share your thoughts, guys. Onward and upward. Want to know what you think about everything? Let me know. Okay. I'm going to finish this video with a few more stories and then my personal story as I walk back to the car. Now, this is Goldenrod Street, but a couple things. Shay Williams thought he won food for a year from Chipotle. They sent him emails confirming this through some contest, and he didn't get it. Have you guys ever won anything that anybody reneged on? Jackpot at a casino, any free giveaway that they said, oh, you didn't win, or oh, we gave too many out, anything like that? So the story's below on that one. The next one, Microsoft. Microsoft, guys, because everything's so good in the economy and so good with the tech companies and so good with the computers and the software and everything that they're laying off 11,000 people. 11,000. Okay? So that story's below. Now, 30 years ago, I lived here in Corona del Mar with my then girlfriend that ended up becoming my wife. And, you know, young kid, in his 20s, trying to make money, and I had a car payment. And got behind on my car payment. Okay, it happens to the best of us. The only problem was, this is like a 6-month period where I was just like this close. We're coming for the car, we're looking for it. And I lived on the other side of the bridge, okay? So when you'd get 3 months behind, they would literally come and look for the car, okay? So what I would do is I would drive around and park my car on the other side of the bridge. With it, if the guy would have driven to the end of the street and looked across the bridge, he would have seen that, hey, there's the car right there. They never did that, okay? And I kept this scam going for 6 months where I would get really behind, they'd be looking for it, we're repossessing the car, I'd make a payment, get it out of repossession, and then they would come back. But guys, it was that close. But the funny thing about this is as I'm here, this was the street. This is where I would park the car, and on the other side of the bridge is where I lived, okay? So nobody ever, let's go check the other side of the bridge. The tow truck would literally come down the street looking for the car. And so I've been there, guys, okay? And I can't believe I'm smiling about this now. But it was pretty ingenious, though, because, you know, hey, park it at your friend's house. No, they went to the friend's house. You're listed as the contact for Dan, and this dead end street right here, I'm telling you, I would park the car right here, okay? But there's the bridge right there. See the bridge? Okay, the other side of the bridge is where I lived, one street over on the other side of the bridge. So absolutely awesome. So if you're ever in repossession, park on the other side of the bridge. Anyways, I just you know, I love the people that write me. You know, you've never had difficult times, born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You've never done anything. You've never had a difficult day in your life. Oh, okay. Anyways. Okay. So just remember, sometimes there's a bridge, there's a future. It's all good. Okay. So share your thoughts on all this stuff. Share your thoughts on the debt ceiling disaster and the fact that our government really is not ran like a business and has no money. And what they're going to do is print more and raise your credit limit. Think about this. If you lived your life that way, if, hey, my Visa bill, I topped it at 10,000. I need to go to 12.5 so I can make my bill. 12.5. Okay, 15,000. Okay, 20,000. Okay. But see, that's Bayside down there, guys. So there's the bridge. Isn't that cool? So that I totally got away with it. Okay, and it was 30 years ago. Okay, onward and upward, guys. Please don't forget to the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys very soon.